With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Thanks for joining us trackside once again, race fans here on the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. The ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series fires things off for race number 9 here in the regular season. Season number 6 well and underway just tonight and next Monday night for drivers to try to lock themselves in for a chance at the championship hardware. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave of the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. We all know the high stakes. We all know the high banks. High speed with a lot on the line coming to the final 2 races of the regular season. Track temperature pretty cool here tonight in Talladega, Alabama. If you haven't had a chance to get here, well, As hot as the racing action is on track, you can find some interesting things going on down there on Talladega Boulevard in the infield. I don't want to allude to too much of what my eyes have seen, but it's just as good as what goes on out there on the track. 73 laps scheduled in tonight's official race distance. We'll see who captures the checkered flag, but first we'll find out who's going to walk away with the David Spears Designs Pole Award. Let's get that timing and scoring over to the left-hand side of your screen. Patrick DeSaunter and his Kitty Cat Coin Toyota Supra, the number 93, top of the speed charts. Quick time for a moment. Now Derek Moore gonna put his Fast Forward top of the speed charts. Can Moore get back to victory lane? Visiting victory lane one time so far this season, and DeSaunter says not so fast. He's going to take that top spot back, 53.95. Now the fast time here in qualifying with just about a minute remaining. Over 23 drivers scheduled to make the starting grid here tonight. Long race, 73 laps, 183.5 miles of hardcore restrictor plate racing action coming at you here in just a handful of moments. Nick Burlow going to have a solid attempt at a qualifying effort. He's going to slot in the second position, and it's all about down to the thousandths of second from first all the way back to fourth position. Brian Tarnowski, where'd he come from? He's going to shoot out of a cannon and separate himself from the rest of the field. Tarnowski going to go top of the speed charts now with 30 seconds remaining. 53.92 is your David Spears Pole Design award-winning time. And just like that, we're going to head trackside for your national anthem. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular their bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And back trackside after the opening ceremonies come to a close. Drivers slowly making their way to the starting grid. What do you say? We give ourselves a little bit of time. Let's take a look at those championship standings coming into tonight's race. Race number 9 in the regular season. Bailey Dutton topping the charts just by 1 point, just barely out in front of Bobby Blazer. Todd Cray right there sitting at third, 2 points out of the top spot. And take a look down there through your top 10. Drivers all in contention. You can go all the way back to Patrick Coro, that 91 machine. He's got an outside shot to still make it into the playoffs. A win here tonight could catapult somebody inside of the top 8. Justin Gann with an unfortunate run at the end of last week's race at Nashville Superspeedway still somehow found a way to gain the points needed to put himself in that final cutoff spot for a shot at a championship. 8th place, that is the hot seat, and right now Gann barely in with a hungry Michael Overstreet, John Timms, Adam Ross, all right there, foaming at the mouth, hoping Gann has trouble tonight and they can capitalize on it and possibly catapult themselves into a chance to run for the Season 6 championship here with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. So that's the way your points standings shake out coming into tonight's race. And it looks like most of the field beginning to make their way to the starting grid. So what do you say we jump a little closer, get a up close and personal look at that Ford Mustang iRacing pace car. Going to be bringing the field around to the green flag here in just a handful of moments. There you can see the entire field ready, waiting for the moment to fire the engines, and we are just seconds away from the drivers giving the command to put it in gear and roll off of the starting grid. Looks like we've got 2 or 3 drivers still making their way through final pre-race inspection. Justin Gann, Scott Thomas, Daniel Jensen, all still yet to report to the starting grid. They're on their way. They will make it, and we will get set to fire things off here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. Oh, the bells beginning to ring in the background. You know the sounds, you know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup in the Talladega 184 right here from the high banks. The Superspeedway, Talladega Superspeedway action here tonight, snatching the David Spears Designs pole award moments ago, starting inside row number 1 in his number 28 machine, Brian Tarnowski. Just to his outside, the Assassin Motorsports Kitty Cat Coin 93 Toyota Supra, piloted by Patrick Dishonor, will start outside pole position. Row number 2 here tonight, the 21 of Todd Cray, followed by the fast 49 of Nick Burlow. Derek Moore, Scott Bellum back in row number 3. Row number 4 here tonight, the 404 of Dave Gage and the 41 of Doug Argabright. Joe Wumter and Bobby Blazer round out row number 5 in your top 10. Back in row number 6, the 30 of Justin Gann, looking to pilot that Hangry Animals machine to victory lane for the first time. Will it be tonight at Talladega? Stephen Ayers Jr. just to his outside in the Ayers iRacing pink Toyota Supra, back in row number 7. Joshua Douglas and Nicholas Wing, Larry Poling and Aaron Hall back in row 8. Row number 9 here tonight, the 62 of Nate DeFayette, followed by the 79 of Scott Thomas. Adam Ross, Michael Overstreet, rounding out your top 20. Previous race winner, 2-time race winner, looking to get a 3rd checkered flag here tonight at a Shake and Bake Motorsports, the 26 of Bailey Dutton. Patrick Coro will roll off in 22nd, and finishing out the running order here tonight, Brenton Hunt, John Timms, and Daniel Jensen. that's going to do it for your starting lineup, your 24-car field here tonight from Talladega Super Speedway, as our good buddy Travis Smith ducks off, waiting for the boss man in the flag stand, and as these drivers make it their way around this long front stretch, we're going to get ready to drop the hammer. The music will fade as these engines roar to life in the restart zone on the gas, and green flag flies for the first time here tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. We'll go ahead and get timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen just as soon as these drivers get back around. Tarnowski with a good jump on the field. He's going to lead them into turn number 1. No challenges yet. The side-by-side, second, third, fourth, fifth on back. Looks like a lot of drivers bailing from the high side and already dropping down to the bottom. Long single-file train of cars down there on the bottom. And oh, looks like the 41 Argo Bright, he wants to move to the front. He's got the 90 of Bobby Blazer right behind him. 3 wide in turn 3, lap number 1. Here we go. If you wanted action, you wanted excitement, we've got it, and we've got it already here tonight. Lap number 1, 3 wide racing at the front of the field, and Patrick DeSaulnier will lead the lap number 1. He'll get a good run off of turn 4 and through the triangle. Great push by Burlow's gonna move DeSaulnier out front. At the bottom lane, coming back once again. Here comes your pole sitter back to the front. He's gonna nose ahead on the exit of turn number 2, but Tarnowski back out front. Oh, and we got trouble! Trouble already! Todd Curry up and over! Oh no, trouble already. Cray still sliding here. He's going to make more impact with the inside wall, and oh no, trouble. Trouble early here at Talladega, lap number 2, and we've got problems. A little bit of a bump draft gone awry, I do believe. And that's going to put us under caution for the first time here tonight. Early drivers with issues. Let's see if we can't see what happened. Let's go check the replay. And there you can see already DeSaulnier out of shape. For a victim of circumstance, he's going to get a hard hit. And there it is. Big impact to the tail end of his car. And that's going to pretty much do it for Cray. He's going to have a long night on his hands from this moment forward. We'll take one more look at it, see if we can't see anything different. There you see already the contact being made. And for the most part, a lot of drivers going to miss this one, but unfortunately catching the brunt or bearing the brunt of this one is Todd Cray early here tonight. And Cray, only driver onto pit road. Big moves, big things, and sometimes big problems. Todd Cray hunting for win number 3 here in the regular season, and tonight I don't think is gonna be his night. He'll find himself on pit road very early here tonight. Do we have any more takers? Looks like a handful of drivers are gonna flirt with coming down pit road. Derek Moore, Nick Burlow, Patrick DeSaulnier, Justin Gann, Stephen Ayers Jr., Joshua Douglas, Larry Poling, Nicholas Wing, Aaron Alt, Bailey Dutton, Brinson Hunt, Michael Overstreet, and Patrick Coro all head down pit road, and Todd Cray falling 1 lap down. Lap number 4, Cray with trouble on lap number 2, and he has already fallen 1 lap down. It's going to be a long night, a long battle for that 21 and his entire crew. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see where he rejoins the field and if he's somehow able to scratch, fight, and claw his way back into some sort of contention here tonight. Very long race, still over 65 laps remaining, so a lot of miles yet to be run. And with trouble already. What's that do for a race leader? You're taking a look at the 28 machine of Brian Tarnowski. What's it do for his mentality? How about the drivers right behind him? Argra Bright, Blazer, Bellum. What do they do from here? You can see Dave Gage just passing the melee going on in front of him. What does that do for his mindset? A lot of drivers come into these plate races with the mentality of, you know what? I'm going to play it easy. I'm going to play it nice and smooth. I'm going to head to the back. Some drivers want to go straight to the front. And sometimes you can end up in a bad position no matter whether you're at the front or at the back. So when the trouble happens, it happens fast. You've seen it happen in a blink of an eye. A little bit of a sideways moment there for Dishonor with a push from behind, and that's all it took. It into the side of Todd Cray in chaos from that moment forward. And Cray still stuck down there on pit road. Patrick Dishonor also on pit road. So a handful of drivers already with those troubles. About half of the field comes down pit road to top off with fuel. Justin Gann going to leave the drivers off of pit road. Rejoin the field outside of row number 7. So your top 13 staying out on track. Or, whoa, wait, let's rephrase that. Your top 8 staying out there on track. Everybody else, it looks like they came down pit road just for a little bit of fuel, try to extend their green flag run should we see this thing go green all the way through. And you know, it's gotten me curious. It's gotten me wondering. I'm not gonna lie, race fans. I mean, we visited Daytona International Super Speedway earlier in the season for the PR Taco Palace and Margarita Bar 100. And we only seen one caution flag fly. We seen one caution flag fly at Daytona. Drivers maybe trying to do a... Well, I don't know. I was going to say maybe drivers trying to possibly make it a little more exciting earlier here tonight. And it looks like that bit a few of them in the behind. They are indeed Patrick Dishonor and Todd Cray still left on pit road in damage control as we roll around the track out of turn number 4. We're going to get ready to drop the hammer once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. And a long train of single file machines down at the bottom already. How quick do those 6 in the top lane drop down? We'll see how hard they're willing to fight as we roll to the Geico restart zone, and away we go. Green flag flies as the 28 nails the loud pedal. He's going to step away from his help behind. Does he jump up high or does he keep it right there? And it looks like Argabright going to bail from that high side straight down to the bottom. Take that second position away. Bobby Blazer right behind him, and oh, the 41 wants to go around. Here comes Blazer with him, right out in front of Scott Bellum. And it looks like we've got more drivers in the back, bailing from the bottom and heading up to the top of the racetrack. The Hangry Animals, number 30 of Justin Gann, looking for some positions in your top 3 on the outside. Make their way around and drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. Doug Argabright out front, showing away Bobby Blazer right there along with him. Scott Bellum in that number 1 machine. The I Love Smoking number 1 of Scott Bellum. He's got his fast forward dialed in early here tonight. And look at the only man out there on the high side. You are not going to get it done all alone, and he is going to lose a handful of positions. I do believe that is John Thames in the 77 losing those positions as the field all single file now. Halfway down the backstretch, we'll drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find your favorite driver and follow along just like we do up here in the production booth. And it looks like Todd Cray and Patrick DeSauner going to fall even further off of the lead lap as they continue to thrash in the pits, trying to get both of those machines back out on track to gain as many positions as possible here tonight. And with your top, it looks to be about 15 or so, all nose to tail here. Let's take a look back at Larry Poling. There you can see Larry Poling in the TRD Toyota Super, leading a handful of drivers. Aaron Hall, Adam Ross, Bailey Dutton, Brinson Hunt, Michael Overstreet, Patrick Coro, all right here. The tail end of this field looks like they're pretty content to run where they are. Looks like a designed second pack here tonight. 3 seconds back from your race leaders. And as they mix things up, going around the Wounded Warrior, there's Larry Poling down at the bottom of the racetrack. He's got a little bit of front end damage. You can see a lot of crinkles on that Toyota Super as drivers do the 2x2 to take the spot away. Larry's gonna have to stay in their draft. He's gonna hope he can hang on here as all 6 drivers go around Poling, and it looks like he's gonna struggle to keep pace. Already stepping away are those drivers out front. Nicholas Wing hanging on right here with Justin Gannon and Stephen Ayers Jr. They're about 3/10 off of the lead pack, so I guess we could call it 3-pack racing here tonight. Going to take a look back at the front of the field. Let's jump back up here as drivers stay single file across the line. Doug Argabright will lead them back across the start-finish line. We're going to take a look back off of Bobby Blazer's number 90 Ford Mustang. The B Blazer Vintage Ford Mustang running well here tonight, up 8 positions from where he qualified since the drop of the green flag. He has not hesitated, and he has moved his way to the front of the field. Bobby Blazer sits in second. We'll jump back a little further in the field. Things get a little hot and heavy right here around Nate DeFay, the 62 machine. Yet another one of our onboard Ford camera shots here tonight. So a big shout out to everybody back in that Ford camp, allowing us to put on some great camera shots on board the cars. We'll take a look now on board with Nate DeFay running in that 7th position, a little further back behind them inside of the 49 of Nick Burlow down into, and I believe that's going to be turn 1, and yes it is turn 1, and just look at the long string of cars in front of him. And when I tell you, he's only about a second off of the race lead. I mean, that's 11th position. I mean, that's how close these guys are running. That's how close the game is here at Talladega Super Speedway. There you can see timing scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. And yes, Burlow 1.3 seconds back, but I mean, look how tight this pack is. If somebody's willing to risk it, they may be able to jump to the outside and possibly pick off a position or two. Looks like we've got the Coors Light Toyota Supra thinking about it back here. That's going to be, I do believe that may very well be the 99 of Nicholas Wing. Yes, it is 99 of Nicholas Wing. He's going to take a position away from that 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr., the Ayers Racing Paints. 31, going to lose a position, and the Toyota's going to stay in tandem, pushing that Ford back to the lead pack. And they're going to be there in just a moment. Look at Nick Burlow. Look at Derek Moore. They're looking to the outside, and here it comes. Will they formulate the run? Will it work out? Let's watch this one unfold here There you can see the 49 on the high side starting to make a little bit of headway. On all the drivers lined up, nose to tail, single file, bottom of the racetrack, pulling even now with Joshua Douglas, working their way off of turn number 2, and here comes the run down the backstretch. There it is, more drivers starting to bail from the bottom and take their chances at getting to the front of the field. You can see that 79 of Scott Thomas jumped to the high side, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to slow the roll of that top lane a little bit, and it's gonna shake up this lead pack. There you can see jumping down to the bottom. Derek Moore says, "I've had enough." He's going to go back down to the bottom. The 79 coming up, blocking that run, and that really stalled the drivers out. Meanwhile, at the front, 404 of Dave Gage. He takes a peek to the high side. Looks like he wants to lead a lap or two here. 33 of Joe Runter down on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take that Wrangler's Jeans machine closer to the front of the field, but ever since grabbing that top spot just after the restart, Arga Bright having fun at the front. Continues to show the way. Lap number 14 going to come to a close this time around. A 3-car train on the high side starting to make a little bit of headway. Here we go. Side by side once again, hanging it out and looking for the front of the field. Here comes Dave Gage. Moving into that 5th position. There's enough room to get down. Does Gage stay at the high side? Yes, he does. He's going to keep it wound up. He's found the front with some friends, and it looks like he's looking for some more. This is the first time we've seen a sustainable run on the high side, and Dave Gage starting to work things out. He's going to pull even with the race leader at the line, officially leading that lap. Last time around was Dave Gage, so that's going to give us our 3rd different race leader here tonight. I apologize. Our 4th different race leader here tonight. The PR's Taco Palace and Margarita Bar. 404 of Dave Gage says it's happy hour, drinks on me. High above this big field here tonight with one of our turn 3 drone cams looking down at all of the action off of turn number 2. Halfway down the backstretch, they roll in the outside lane, starting to lose a little bit of steam now. 3 make that, 4 drivers lined up on the high side, but the organization, the momentum, the energy has been being built on the bottom of the racetrack as Arga Bright decides to stay in line. He's going to stay right behind that 404, and Gage will lead him back across the stripe. Lap 17 comes to a close, and we are rolling here from Talladega. You think you got what it takes. You think you got the skills. You want to find yourself out there running with a great league. Look no further than the American Sim Mode. Oh, contact trouble. Dave Gage goes for a ride. Gage for a ride through the grass. Oh, boy. Ooh, came back up on the track and somehow missed that one. Oh my goodness, that could have been bad. And it looks like we've got multiple drivers involved in this one. Let's take a look back one more time. Let's go check the replay. And there it is, the 3 coming down the track just a little bit. Derek Moore with some trouble, and that's going to pile things up at the front of the field. We'll take one more look at it here. The 79 going to catch him. Oh my gosh! 79 going to catch a piece of that, but did you see him flip it? Oh my. Big time trouble. I don't know how that machine is even rolling. Let's go on board now with Derek Moore. And, oh, no. When the asphalt becomes the sky and vice versa, it's never a good day riding on board. With Scott Thomas and Scott Bellum, you can see drivers scattering all over the place, out of control. Scott Bellum on board with that I Love Smoking #1 Ford Mustang. Bellum able to corral the car and head back in the right direction. Tough break here for multiple drivers. Here on lap number 18, caution flag will fly, and it looks like we've got at least 5 drivers caught up and involved in this one. More cars going to head to pit lane for an extended stay as race leader Arga Bright brings the field down to pit road. Under caution for the second time here tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to take a brief commercial break, pay a few bills, and make our sponsors happy. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And thanks for tuning in. Welcome back if you've been here with us since the drop of the green flag. Caution number 2 flies on lap number 18. Multiple drivers involved, multiple drivers behind pit wall early here tonight. Still over 50 laps remaining in tonight's Talladega 184. Big move on pit road. New race leader at the front. 62 of Nate DeFayette. He wants to try his hand at leading a handful of laps. Field makes their way through 3 and 4. iRacing pace car will duck on off and we will get set to go back. Green flag racing this time around. No stage breaks here tonight in the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. We're going to run this one straight through. 2 caution flags have caught up and involved multiple drivers. Looks to be about 5-6 drivers with heavy, significant damage. And we get ready to roll once again on the gas. Green flag flies here at Talladega Super Speedway. Not getting a good start on that inside lane, or is it by design? And it looks like that move was well planned and worked out before we ever hit the restart zone. Argabright gonna drop down from the bottom of the racetrack and take that second position, and here comes a move. We've seen it before. Blazer moves to the high side. He's gonna go along with the 41, and a big push from Justin Gann, and it looks like that outside lane will go up and around. And just like that, unfortunately for DeFayette, he's going to fall back to that 4th position. What does Justin Gann do right here? Does he drop to the bottom? And it looks like, yes, he's going to slowly work his way down the track and into that 3rd position as we cross the line for the first time after the drop of the restart. We'll drop that timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen, but DeFayette not ready to wave the white flag yet. He is not giving in. He's going to try hard on the outside. All alone, that's going to be a tall task to get the job done by yourself out there. You're going to need some friends. You're going to need some help as drivers halfway down the backstretch and more begin to bail from the top and work their way to the bottom. And now crew chiefs and spotters all in their ears, and DeFayette will slot back in line. He's going to lose 4 positions on the restart and drop back to 5th, but now single file racing at the front with Doug Argabright back out, showing the way right where he has been pretty much all race long. A great run so far here tonight by Argabright. Will he somehow find a way to point his way into those top 8? We've had a handful of championship contenders have trouble here tonight. I mean, let's take a look. We're going to take a look back at some of those point standings. Let's mention some of those point standings coming into tonight's race. Justin Gann sitting in 8th position, only 3 points ahead of Michael Overstreet and just about 10 points in front of John Timms. And well, Timms right there in 6th, right on the heels of Justin Gann. So not letting him get away, not really letting him make up those points. But let's take a look. Patrick DeSauner out of tonight's race. Early exit from the track, trouble on lap number 2, and DeSauner gonna fall deep in the running order here tonight. Walk away with minimal points, and that could spell trouble. Only 11 points in front of that 8th position. So this is not the night that DeSauner needed. He is going to be on the cusp, on that bubble, heading into next week. Man, it's got to be rough. It's got to be tough for a handful of these drivers. I mean, Dave Gage, what do you do if you're Dave Gage? He's inside of the top 10 running right now, but only in 7th coming into tonight's race. When is it too much of a risk? And I'd venture to say it's too much of a risk for these guys running in this second pack. Let's go back in the field. Oh, it looks like some wounded warriors in this pack right here. There you can see the 19 of Aaron Alt, Adam Ross. Nick Burlow, no front clip on his 49, but somehow keeping pace. As long as he stays in the draft, this might work out for him. Michael Overstreet and Patrick Coro right behind him. Coro, one of those drivers looking to work his way into a top 8 position. He came into tonight's race sitting in 13th in the overall point standing, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up. But really only making up some ground right now on Patrick DeSauner, as just one of your drivers inside of your top 8 really has trouble here tonight. We can include Todd Cray if you want, but Cray came in with a sizable advantage, all but locked in. Came into tonight's race sitting in third, just 2 points. I apologize, just 2 points out of that overall championship lead. So although tonight's race will affect his point standings, I do believe Todd Cray is going to be in a safe position heading into the final race of the regular season. And somewhat, I don't really want to talk about him too much because I don't want to give him that broadcaster's curse. If you watch the Chili Bowl over the past week or even the Tulsa Shootout, you know what the broadcaster's curse is, and you know it is a for real thing. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and curse him anyway. Why? Because that's what we do. Leading the outside lane, charging towards the front of the field, inside of his Hangry Animals number 30 machine. There you can find the fast forward Mustang of Justin Gann. Gann has been quick, week in, week out, but somehow he has become the mayhem magnet here in season number 6 in these Xfinity Series machines. Trouble just seems to find a way to the fenders of Justin Gann. And just unfortunate circumstances, especially over the course of the past, I would say about 3 to 4 weeks. Again, right there inside the top 5. A shot for a race win, and just trouble strikes, and a great finish turns into a decent finish. And that has been the story of season number 6 for the man inside of that Hangry Animals Ford Mustang, leading his way around the high side right now. He's got a lot of friends in tow, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to get up there and battle for the race lead any longer, as the inside lane getting a little more organized and a little bit more momentum being generated as these drivers on the bottom of the racetrack stay tucked in line. Oh, moving to the back. Looks like a little bit of a swap there on the high side. Stephen Ayers Jr. going to move from second car in line back to the third car in line, and that's going to slow that outside lane down just a little bit. Yeah, up the racetrack, a little scrape of the outside wall. I believe that was the 26 of Bailey Dutton with a little scrape of the outside wall. We're going to take a look at this as the 8 stuck as the meet in the middle right now. He's going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack just as quick as he can, as Dave Gage has taken control of the high side. He's got Justin Gann all over him. 5 cars on the outside trying to make it work, trying to make some headway as we cross the line. Lap number 31 goes on the board. Great look back off of that 404 of Dave Gage as he continues to try to bring that outside lane to the front, slowly making some headway here on the front stretch down into turn number 1. He'll pull even with the 99 of Nicholas Wing down there on the inside lane, but just not going to have the momentum to make the pass just yet. We'll stay green flag racing as now Nate DeFayette, he wants to go to the front. He's going to bail from the bottom and jump up and grab the momentum on the high side. Big push out of that 404. And that's going to catapult DeFayette even with Blazer for second. Here comes the run on the high side. Here comes the bump draft. Will it work out? Will it be enough at the line? And oh my goodness, not going to quite get there. A little bit out of shape is that 404. They're going to lose some ground on the high side. And Justin Gann, he's going to poke out. And he's going to take it 3 wide for fourth. 3 wide racing here in turns number 1. Gann leading a 3-car train on that third lane. Not covering up the momentum as DeFayette stuck in the middle. Dave Gage, second car in line, stuck in that middle lane. Not going anywhere. We've got some great racing action here from Talladega Super Speedway. Lap number 33 getting ready to come to a close, and we are right around that halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. Fast-paced racing action here tonight on the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. As always, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Let them know you enjoy all of the fast-paced, hard-nosed racing action they provide to you week in, week out, whether it be here on the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway or in the short track shootouts at Martinsville, or maybe it's one of those cookie cutter mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway, putting on some great racing action week in, week out, each and every Monday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So if you haven't already, join us in that push for 3,000. Drop these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're just sliding through to say hey, or you are one of the dedicated fans, friends, family, or maybe one of the many sponsors. We do appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So while you're here enjoying some great racing action, you know you want to go ahead and drop these drivers some love and hit that thumbs up button. Frantic pace at the front as we conclude lap number 35 here from Talladega Super Speedway. 183.5 miles of fast pace racing action here tonight in the Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. 2 cautions tonight, bringing the field to a crawl momentarily, but we have been on a long green flag run here, about 18 laps of green flag racing since the last time we seen that pesky caution flag fly. And here comes Dave Gage, big run to the front, big move by Justin Gann right behind him, side drafting through 3 and 4. Blazer gonna move up, disrupt some of the air, and look at the effects, man. It pulled Gage right on back, all the way back to now battling with 5th place runner Joe Wormter down there on the bottom of the racetrack. So knowing how to utilize the air to your advantage as well as disadvantage goes a long way here at these restrictor plate tracks. And it looks like gonna reload, recharge, and try to surge back to the front once again. The PR's Taco Palace 404 of Dave Gage. He's got a little bit of help from Justin Gann, who's right behind him. The 26 of Bailey Dutton, 3rd car, outside lane, as up at the top of the racetrack, wounded. number 69 of Larry Poling, the TRD Toyota Supra, struggling here tonight, and that can be expected with basically no front clip on your car. The aerodynamics not going to be working in your favor, and Poling going to fall further off of the lead lap as we've got drivers continuing to thrash away on the cars. Todd Cray, man, the never say die attitude out of this team here tonight is second to none. Caught up and involved in a lap 2 incident, and he is still trying to work that machine over and get his way back out there on the track. We'll see if Cray's able to eventually rejoin the field and possibly pick up a spot or two. Looks like there's going to be 3 spots hanging out in front of him right now. But as these drivers continue this fast-paced racing action, the time is definitely going to run out, as we've got 3 wide at the front for a moment. But that inside lane going to prevail as everybody bails on Gage and leaves him all alone. And he's going to get freight trained on that middle side. And that's just how quick it can happen, race fans. From battling for the race lead to battling to stay inside the top 10, Dave Gage gonna drop from, as we said, battling for first. He's gonna drop all the way to 11th, now moves back to 10th. So mistiming it one time is really all it takes. That's really all that it. I mean, truly, you just seen it happen. One move a little too late, and driver's gonna pounce, and you're gonna be left high and dry. Although they say there's friends and teammates until the end of this thing, let's be honest, folks. We're all race car drivers out there on the track, and everybody wants to be at the front. So if it means dropping my friend early in the race, well, hey, buddy, hopefully we can work together a little bit later on, but I gots to go. The gots to go mentality working out here tonight for Justin Gann. He's at the top of the racetrack. Bailey Dutton has been glued to his rear bumper this entire race, and again they try to surge to the front down the backstretch. He's gonna nose ahead, but it's all at the line. That's what matters here tonight. It doesn't matter if you're leading the race on the backstretch. You gotta lead it across the start finish line of that inside lane. You're gonna surge back with a lot of momentum through turns 3 and 4. Again, with a good run through the trial, when it looks like Justin Gann at the line. Will he lead it? And yes, lap led. Gonna go in the back pocket of Justin Gann. He's gonna finally lead a lap here tonight. We had to double check that one, and yes, finally gonna lead a lap here tonight as Gann is again on the bottom of the racetrack. That inside lane, just the accordion effect that you see lap after lap. And let's talk about air. I mean, we've been going at it here close to about 22 laps. And Bobby Blazer, he's been tucked in line lap after lap here. I wonder how much clean air he's getting on the nose of that machine to keep those temperatures down. You're not just racing the guys around you or the guy in front of you, you're racing against those temperatures as well. If you start to overheat and you're in this position, where do you go? You can't bail to the high side. Fortunately enough, you're on the backstretch now and you can duck down beneath that out of bounds double yellow line. But through the center of the corners, what do? You're just kind of stuck. Cousin Jess, good to see you checking in with us out there in the chat early here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. Unfortunately, Todd having some trouble on lap number 2, and he has been on pit road ever since, still trying to fix that Pets in Paradise Infinite Hero number 21 Kitty Cat Coin Chevy Camaro, but Cray, fortunately enough, has those 2 race wins in his back pocket and has a lot of points to fall back on, even with the rough run here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. It looks like Todd Cray will be able to point his way into the championship. So look for that 21 to refocus, recharge, and refuel as we get ready to run for a championship. Championship chase starts just 2 weeks from tonight. Get ready to mark it down on your calendar. You're not going to want to miss any of the racing action coming to the end of season number 6 here with the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. We've been side by side at the front of the field for the majority of this green flag run. Last time these drivers were on pit road, right around lap number 19 to lap number 20. Everybody within 1 lap on the fuel and tires. So in looking at that, and looking at some of the strategy here, we've only got ourselves, what is this race, fans? Right at about, come on, help me out here, about, what is that, 28 laps remaining? Drivers have been out there for 26 laps. When do you pull the trigger? When do you bail and come to pit road? How many are you looking to head to pit road with? How big of a group do you want to come down pit road with? The more cars that pit together, the dangerous it becomes. If a driver oversteps, locks him up, comes into the rear of you, you're going to be fuming mad. If you're on the brakes a little too hard trying to avoid the cars in front of you, you may lock them up and come sliding as well. So green flag pit stops looming in the air, and it could be the deciding factor here tonight. Who gets their way on and off of pit road the quickest and cleanest? Will the pit road police pop anybody here tonight? I don't know, but I do know if I was inside of one of the cars, I'd have my spawners and crew chiefs right now looking for a dancing partner. It's time to tango, and I only want the 2 of us to do it. I'm going to look to try to okey-doke this field here in the next, I would say, about 2 laps. I'm going to be looking for an entry to pit road and take at least 1, maybe 2 drivers with me. I really don't want a ton in my group, and I want to see if we can get down to pit road, get that fuel, and get back out on track. I wouldn't expect to see anybody take tires. Tires typically not a factor here at these restrictor plate races, so I believe you may be able to get away with a fuel-only stop. But there again, that's why Dave's in the booth and not on one of the boxes down there on pit lane. I've been known to, well, call a few wrong in my day. We won't sugarcoat it at all. I've been wrong a few times and not taking tires when we should have took tires, and called drivers to pit road a little bit, 1 lap too soon as well. And could that be Could that be the signal right there that green flag pit stops are closer than what we thought? Justin Gann bailing from the race lead on the high line. He's going to leave Bailey Dutton out there showing the way on the high side. Keep in mind that Assassin's number 26 machine of Bailey Dutton has been his pushing partner all race long, and we've got drivers braking for pit road. Arga Bright, Blazer, Wurmter, DeFayette, Douglas, Timms, all to pit road this time around, so a lot of guys to pit road. That's going to leave us with 7 out there on the track, a little disorganized, as now Stephen Ayers Jr. left on the high side all alone, singing the All By Myself song. And he's going to find a way to slide down to the bottom of the racetrack. And look at this. Bailey Dutton has found a way back to that rear bumper of Justin Gann. So the tandem that has worked so well here tonight, teaming back up as green flag pit stops are in the air. Oh, a little bit of a lockup by a few drivers. Late lockup there by Justin Gann. Oh, no. Will it be enough for the pit road police to pop him? We'll keep our eyes on it. As drivers up to speed down the back stretch, Argabright, Wurmter, Blazer, DeFayette, Douglas, all right here with each other. Nobody getting popped on pit road, so a nice clean green flag pit stop for a lot of drivers as down and away, making their way off of pit road. Here comes Dave Gage, Nicholas Wing, Brian Tarnowski, Bailey Dutton, Brinson Hunt, all going to make their way off of pit road. And oh no, the pit road police have popped them. Justin Gann with a speeding on pit entry. Gann gonna fall deep in the running order now, as he's gonna sit in his box for quite an extended stay. Tough break here tonight for that 30 Angry Animals Ford Mustang piloted by Justin Gann. And a long pit stop there being held on pit road for speeding, and Justin Gann gonna drop all the way outside of the top 5, all the way out of your top 15. He's gonna need a caution to get back to the front, but let's take a look right here. Great job on and off of pit road. Dave Gage, Nicholas Wing, Brian Tarnowski, and Bailey Dutton. Great strategy. And that's kind of some of the strategy we were talking about. Coming to pit road, fuel only. It's got them out front, but they've got some hard chargers coming up quickly. And just like that, looking to the outside, here he comes. Arga Bright and Blazer making their way around. Bailey Dutton looking to catch a sniff of the draft on the high side and work his way around. And just like that, Arga Bright back to the race lead once again, back down to the bottom of the racetrack. And Blazer gonna follow suit and put that B Blazer Vintage number 90 Ford Mustang second on the board once again. This is pretty much where they have been all race long, and now Bailey Dutton does not have his familiar dancing partner at the front, so he's going to have to slot in line just outside of your top 5. Man, just about 20 laps to go, and we have still got quite a lot of racing to do here. I mean, 20 laps around Talladega Super Speedway, that's just about, I don't know, you guys do the math. 2.5 miles, 20 laps, that's going to be what? Come on. I know you can do it. We'll wait. Meanwhile, let's give you some of your driver highlights and spotlights here tonight, showing the way, leading the field. After starting outside of your top 5, leading the most laps here tonight, inside of that 41 machine, there you'll find the Los Angeles native, Doug Argabright, getting it done. Argabright going to show the way. He's going to lead this field in first position. Driver right behind him. He's been there since the drop of the green flag, really up 8 positions from where he qualified tonight. Last week's race winner from Nashville Super Speedway, Bobby Blazer, in a solid second place. Final driver in your podium positions here tonight, the Orlando, Florida native. Inside of that PR Taco Palace at Margarita Bar 404. Dave Gage getting the job done, has led a handful of laps, but looking for a race win. Will we see Gage pilot his way to his first win here in season number 6? Or could it be this man right behind him in line? The Wisconsin native, Brian Tarnowski. Can he find a way to get back to the front? Your pole sitter here tonight, taking the fast time in the David Spears Design qualifying session. Can Tarnowski somehow turn it around and gain those 3 spots back to capture the checkered flag? We'll have to wait and see. Another 18 laps remaining here tonight as driver in that final spot inside of the top 5. Your biggest mover of the night, up 16 positions from qualifying all the way back in 21st. Bailey Dutton with a great run through the field. A great green flag pit stop, and he's got himself set up for a good finish here tonight. Bailey Dutton runs in 5th. That's going to do it for your driver highlights and spotlights. A little past the midway point, but we'll give you the house cleaning as it is here tonight. 25 drivers took to the starting grid. We have still got 19 out there on track, but only 18 left on the lead lap. Justin Gann, a man on a mission. He needs some help. He needs a caution. Let's go look at these 2 guys trying to work together and give it all they've got. I mean, way back behind the field right now. Close to flirting with going a lap down. We'll see if we can see the race leaders working their way, and there they are. Just off in the background, that is your race leader beginning to track down Michael Overstreet and Justin Gann. So hoping, praying for a caution, and hoping they're not the caution as this 39 and the 30 as they continue to work together. We'll see how it plays out for them. But meanwhile, let's head back to your race leaders. Argabright, Blazer, engaged. Still 1, 2, 3 on track. Looks like we've got some drivers snaking out of line. Nobody taking it just yet. So we'll stay single file. Whoa, way up the track. Oh my goodness, did you see that 62? I mean, DeFayette way up the track going into turn 3 there. We thought possibly a tire down. I mean, that got pretty sketchy. Single file racing with 15 to go here from Talladega Super Speedway. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Join us in that push to 3,000. Drop these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Tell you what, we've got some hot and heavy action, so let's jump on board Let's go inside of your pole sitters machine. The Davis Spears Design Pole Award going to the 28 of Brian Tarnowski. And we're going to jump on board here with a handful of drivers as we close out the final 15 laps of tonight's race. Tarnowski right here sitting in fourth, a little further back in the field. Let's jump on board now with the 33 Ford Mustang of Joe Wormter. Wormter with a great run here. Well, looks like having a few camera issues, so we'll get to the man a little bit further up through the field. What do you say we go take a look? Who you want to get to, race fans? I tell you what, let's go up here. Dave Gage carrying another one of our onboard camera shots here, sitting in third. A lot of movement out of the drivers in front of him. And we've seen Blazer and Argabright working with each other all night long. They seemed a little squirrely and out of sync. Coming out of turn 2 and down the back stretch. Is it by design, though? Is it throwing a little bit more dirty air on the nose of Gage, leaving him with no option but to stay in line? We've seen calculated moves from these two all race long and not able to do much of anything with a run right now. Inside of his 404 machine, Dave Gage going to have to settle for third, backing up a little bit here. Could we see an experimental run to the front? Dave Gage backing off, letting your top two walk away a little bit. And that's what it's about, race fans, right? If you're a fan of plate racing, if you know a lot about plate racing, it's not about always being tucked up and behind each other. Sometimes you gotta know when to back up a little bit. How far do I fall back, be able to keep the draft and generate that run? You're not going to make the move just by simply jumping out of line and moving forward. You gotta have some momentum built up. You gotta have that energy heading in the right direction. And looky here, dancing partners have found a way back to each other. Justin Gann listed off of the lead lap, but once again, he's got his dancing partner right behind him. They have been quick, and here comes Dave Gage. He's going to jump from the bottom and take control of that outside lane. Gage looking to surge to the front with help from Justin Gann. Oh, man, you know, when it's springtime, and you kind of look out in the distance and you see those clouds out there, and they look a little dark off in the distance. And you stand there and you look, and 10 minutes later, those clouds are a little more dense. They're a little more darker. They're getting closer. 10 minutes later, you can feel the wind starting to roll by you, and you see the storm coming. You can feel it. You can literally feel what's about to go down and what's about to happen. That is what's taking place right now here on the track at Talladega Superspeedway. These drivers see the end in sight. Less than 10 laps to go this time around. We'll have 9 laps remaining. Intensity building. Patience wearing thin. Drivers wanting to use every run to get to the front. And we haven't talked about, I don't want to call them blocks. We'll call them defensively offensive moves. They're going to be coming out of the woodworks here the next handful of laps as well. You're going to have to cut off those runs being generated from behind. Who's going to have... Well, who's going to have the squirrel stash to pull the moves that are going to be necessary to walk away with a race win here tonight. We've already seen the willingness of Gage, the willingness of Gann and Dutton. They have been glued with each other all race long, but so has Arga Bright and Blazer. Blazer with 2 wins already this season. Is he satisfied with helping that 404 get to victory lane? Oh man, this is gonna get good. Coming across the line, 7 laps remain here tonight in the Talladega 184. It's been a long night for some of these drivers, a long night for some of the pit crew. Todd Cray still down on pit lane, and it doesn't look like he is going to rejoin us here tonight. So Cray going to walk away with minimal points, but fortunate enough to have a good points gap to fall back on when we enter next week's race. Next week, final regular season race. Final chance for drivers to make their way into the top 8 in the point standings. Some of these guys need good runs here tonight. Drivers on the high side needing good runs. Gage. Gann needs a good run, but he's off of the lead lap back in 18th. That's not what he needed. So what is he going to do here? Can he throw caution to the wind? It's not Willie, but can he? Looking at the point standings, is that something that you can afford to do? Man, there's so much on the line coming down to the end of tonight's race, not just for tonight's checkered flag, but season championship implications. 39 going to jump to the outside. Michael Overstreet looking to get himself back on the lead lap the good old-fashioned way, and we're going to have 3 wide with 5 to go. Lap machines leading both the middle and high lane. Assassin Motorsports lined up on the high side. We've got 2 wide in front of your race leaders. Things... Oh, man, I don't... Oh, man. Things could get bad really quick here. 39 super loose in that Busch Light Apple machine. The 39 of Overstreet, all sorts of out of shape. And here comes Justin Gann battling his way back onto the lead lap. He'll cross the line in front of race leader and put himself back onto the lead lap. Very important. Should we see a caution flag fly with less than 4 laps to go? Big battle for the lucky dog position right now between Michael Overstreet and Justin Gann. Arga Bright leading the way on the bottom. Man, I'm telling you things. Ooh, boy. I'm glad I'm not in one of these cars. I'm glad I'm not needing to walk away with a great finish to secure my championship run, because this right here, intense, nerve-wracking. I don't know that they make enough adjectives for it. Whoa, and out of shape on the bottom. Oh my gosh, how did he save it? Man, they wrecked. They just didn't crash right there. Oh my goodness. And that broke up the field at the front. We've still got Assassin Motorsports lined up on the high side, nose to tail, but 2 of them 1 lap down. There you can see the 98 of Brinson Hunt. Quiet night here tonight by Hunt. Did not qualify started in the rear of the field, and here he is inside the top 5 as we cross the line this time around. Popsicle sticks on display, just 2 laps to go here from Talladega Superspeedway with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Won a run, won a race here tonight, just 2 laps to go. And I don't know what has happened. This 404 has dropped pace. Dropping a lot of pace is Dave Gage, and it looks like Arga Bright will lead him to the white flag. This time around, the boss man in the flag stand has it in hand. White flag flies. Final lap. Here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway, Doug Arga Bright started in 8th. He's been in control of the race almost all evening long. Run from the outside. Gann and Overstreet both off of the lead lap, but they're bringing Brinson Hunt right along. Brinson moves to second, looking to take the race lead. He'll cross down to the bottom and block off that 41, but here comes the move by Arga Bright, looking for a way through the middle. Not gonna quite get there. Hunt glued to the back of Gann. Now Brinson Hunt ducks to the high side. Here comes the run. What a move. There is contact at the front. Gann gonna go around. Arga Bright to the line. Race winner, checkered flag in hand with chaos ensuing behind. Oh my goodness. Look, there's a lot to try to... Oh man, there's a lot to process coming to those final few laps there. Or those final few corners, I should say. Big blocks, big moves. Brinson Hunt doing all he can for the race win. Unfortunately, it's not going to fall his way, but it is going to go to another fresh face here in season number 6. This will be our 6th different race leader this season. What a run. Pushing it to the limits here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway, and Arga Bright will bring it to the front stretch, to the start-finish line, and he's going to burn it down, give some of the fans in the stands a bit of a smoke show. Job well done and well-deserved checkered flag. Arga Bright takes the race win. Whew. And with us needing a little bit of a breather in the booth, we're going to get ready to head trackside for your post-race interviews. But first, let's hit up one final sponsor commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
Back trackside live at the conclusion of tonight's Talladega 184. And well, Talladega ends like Talladega ends. What a crazy finish. What a great night of racing. We've seen two early cautions, then a long green flag run with green flag pit stops right there near the end of tonight's race. Man, did things get interesting at the end. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into these post-race interviews. Let's see if we can go have a few words with the man that walked away with the final spot on the podium here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up the man having a little bit of happy hour with that PR Tacos Palace and Margarita Bar 404. Dave, it's Dave. How you doing? Well, I want to ask you a little bit there. You were battling there for the race lead, and then all of a sudden, you drop back in those final, I would say, probably about 6 laps or so. What happened there? Did the engine temps get too hot? What went on?
So early on in the race, that second caution, I had gotten hit pretty hard from the top side, and it gave me some wicked damage on the front right of the car. So the whole race, I was able to keep up with everybody if I had somebody behind me. And the only chance I had was brake, Blazer, and Argabright. So when I had someone behind me, I was able to tighten up real tight on Blazer and try to keep him on the Argabright bumper to try to overheat him to get him out of my way. And then those two got broken away a little bit from me when they kind of broke up behind me. And I had no one to help push me up to get a pull. So I dropped back and I just fell like a stone. And then I realized I was probably going to be pretty good once I saw everything start to tighten up. And then we just played the luck of the dice and we prayed to the gods, threw the dice, closed our eyes, and drove through the middle of the smoke and came out in third. Almost had a second, but got into a little bit of bumper with the 62 there, but I'll still take a third out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, earlier here tonight, before happy hour, I had the pleasure of catching up with you, as well as Mr. Cornrow, here tonight before you guys began to jump in the machines and turn some hot laps there in happy hour. And the strategy was kind of at that point was, I'm going to press the gas and I'm going to the front. You went to the front. You kind of stayed up there. At any point in time tonight, did you have a second thought about, well, especially after that first caution happening right there at the front, did it ever run through your mind that maybe I need to switch this strategy?
So about halfway through the first lap when we were 3 wide and cars were moving around, I realized their mistakes were made, and it was mostly made by me. And I was like, I should definitely not be here. And then right there on that lap, there was a crash. Both of my teammates kind of went almost over my head and were pretty much out of the race. And that's when I saw we just went 3 wide and we had the back straight there, and I should have pulled right out of that. But luckily, I was able to make it through that one. And I thought we were going to settle down after everybody got their jitters done. But then that second one, to be honest with you, I still don't quite know what happened. All I knew was I was driving straight, going like heck, and then I was somewhere in the infield driving through the grass, praying that I could get the thing to stay straight and not kill anybody. Able to gather it up after I mowed a bunch of lawn and kept it moving. But at that point, I had some damage to go in and fix, and knew it was going to be a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, especially here at Talladega, when it happens very fast, and sometimes you got no clue where it happened from. But fortunately enough for you tonight, you were able to salvage a good finish and walk away third here tonight. That's going to do your point standing some justice heading into the final race of the regular season, and should be able to slot yourself into a spot for a championship run. So we wish you the best next week. But let's not forget about the great run here tonight. Before we let you go, Dave, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the shop?
Yeah, of course. We're gonna say big thanks to PR's Taco Palace. They were cool enough when I approached them and said, "Hey, I want you to sponsor my virtual car," and they said, "You know what? We're all in." So I'm gonna throw a big shout out to them. Those guys are awesome. They get behind me and they run this thing and watch me do all kinds of silliness out here. I want to thank my team, of course, TTB. We got Todd and Patrick. We run together. We have a whole bunch of fun. That's awesome. In real life, I'm going to thank my wife. She sits over in the other room there, just shaking her head the whole time while we're hooting and hollering and screaming and telling dirty jokes while we're racing. So I love her and thank her so much. Gonna thank my parents. They're the ones that got me here. Dad got me into racing. Mom brought me into this earth with Dad. So I'm always gonna thank them and thank everybody else in the league. I am an admin here. I put forth a lot of effort to have a cool league, and it gives us the opportunity to bring people like you on for this broadcast. This league would only be half as cool as it was if we didn't have a cool broadcaster. So we thank you as usual, and then I'll just stop talking your ear off at that point.
Well, I just want to say this. You heard it from him. I'm cool. I'm just you all heard that. You can't
Chalk that
take it
one up on
out.
the
It's
board.
out there now. I'm cool.
No, you're
That's
gonna
all.
clip that one and just if anybody ever says anything, you just hit
Yeah,
replay.
yeah,
So
I'm
nah,
just.
Dave said I'm cool.
Matter of fact, I'm putting it on the Stream Deck button right now, and if anybody ever says something, I'm just gonna start hitting the button. Dave's cool.
But
Dave's cool.
you know what? Tell you what, you send them to me and I'll back it up. You're good.
I hear you, my man. Well, again, congratulations on the great podium run here tonight. We'll see how you finish off the regular season next week. But until then, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
We appreciate you. The bottom step's still a step on the podium.
All right, there you have it. Final few parting words out of the man inside of that PR Tacos Palace and Margarita Bar 404. Chevy Camaro walking away with the final spot on the podium here tonight. Dave Gage going to have a solid night here from Talladega, and you can't really ask for more than a solid run at a restrictor plate track, because it can be quite a challenge. Let's just leave it at that. It can be quite challenging at any track, but Talladega a little bit more working of the nerves, and that's going to move us right along to the man that finished in second here tonight inside of his fast Ford number 62 machine. Nate, it's Dave. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid night here tonight? I do believe this may be the first time we've had a chance to talk to you this season. So knowing that we're getting towards the end of the regular season, how good does it feel to finally get here?
It feels pretty good. Finally got my hands to stop shaking a little bit. Got a little bit hairy towards the end of the race there. Nothing but smoke and parts flying everywhere, but I just kind of put it down and held it through, and somehow ended up walking away second.
Yeah, sometimes the C's part, and you end up taking the correct course. Want to talk a little bit about your race here tonight. I mean, you started outside of the top 15. How were you able to make up those positions, and what went through your mind on that last lap? I mean, there was lead lap cars one lap down. What went through your mind through that whole thing?
Well, the last lap there, I really wasn't sure what was going on with all those lap cars kind of mixed into the pack there at the front. But I saw my opportunity when a couple of the other guys in the top five were starting to take each other out, and like I said, there was just cars everywhere, and it was really hard to tell who was where, who was what, and just it was confusing for a little bit. But I kind of had an eye on the first place car and just kind of aimed for that, and that's how I got through it all.
All right, well, Nate, a great run for you and your 60 crew
Thank
here
you, sir.
tonight. Do you think you can carry any of this momentum from a good finish here tonight into next week's race?
More than likely not, but I'm gonna try my hardest.
You know what? I'm not even gonna be mad at that. That seems like one of the most honest answers I could have gotten right there. So hats off for the honesty as well, my man. But again, I don't want to take anything away from the finish here tonight. Great run. You got to
Thank
be
you.
there at the end to have a shot at it, and you were right there, Nate. So before we let you go and enjoy this second place finish tonight, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the shop?
I just feel bad for my teammate Scott. Got taken out in a wreck earlier in the day, but a shout out to my sponsor, Searchlight Simulations, for running the car, and sorry to Scott for the bad luck, but hopefully we can pull it off again next week.
All right. Well, Nate, again, congratulations on the great finish
Thank
here
you.
tonight. And we'll see if we can't catch up with you next week, trackside.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. Nate DeFan walking away second inside of his 62 machine. The New York native makes his way to a podium, and we'll see if he can continue the momentum into next week. But first, we've got to get to victory lane, and we've got another fresh face. First time race winner here in season number 6, getting the job done right there at the end of tonight's race. Inside of that Fast 41 machine, Doug, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Man, I don't know where to start, but I'm going to try to figure it out, and I'm going to start with this one.
Okay.
You started outside the top 5. You ran your way to the front. There was that early caution, lap number 2, but then after that, you kind of asserted a little bit of dominance. You stayed at the front of the field with a little bit of help from Bobby Blazer. Was that the strategy for you and your crew all night, is to get up front and stay up front because you're less likely to be in it when it does happen?
Yeah, so that was our strategy after how Daytona worked out with the lack of cautions, where everyone in esports was sitting back, and we just didn't have enough time to get back to the front. Obviously the fuel mileage and everything went back into that, but even if there was no fuel mileage, we were still 3-4 seconds off the pack. We would have never caught them. So our strategy going into this was try to stay at the front as much as we can. And then the way we kind of decided who was going to lead was Bobby already has 2 wins. He's good in the chase. John's right there. So as long as he has a decent finish, he should be okay. I'm the one that's furthest down, so decided to try to get me the most points, try to win. I get the extra for the lead lap and lead the most laps. I just feel awful. Like, that's the only word I can think about it for how the end was. It was one of those split second things that they came back from, I think it was like a second or something behind because the lap cars got in the way. And I'm side drafting like crazy, like I wasn't all night because I was trying to be safe, but for the win, I was gonna side draft, and then I pushed. I think it was Hunt who was in front of me. Um, Out of 4, I tried to get him loose, get him up high, and then Gan was sticking on the yellow line. So I'm like, oh, there's a gap there, and I went to go up into that gap, and they just kind of closed the gap as I was making the move, and it was too late to really do anything at that point. Um, and it caused the crash. So uh, if it gets taken away, it gets taken away. I'm not mad about that. I understand the circumstances. Um, it's just hard when it is one of those split second things, because if I would have turned back, I would have taken Gan out, and that would have been a crash for the whole field anyways. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. So I'm like, I'll just stick with the move I'm already doing so it looks less erratic. So yeah, kind of good day and then really tough day at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell you what, Doug, at the end of these things, especially at restrictor plate races. I mean, we've all been accustomed to seeing it happen, not just here on the iRacing platform or on any other gaming platform, but you see it happen in all three series of the NASCAR ranks. It's the final lap, final corners, and you're making those moves, and it's all within split seconds of each other. You went for the gap that closed up. It is what it is. I'll tell you what, from my standpoint, I'll fight for you to keep first because, I mean, you got to try something. You can't just sit there. So you did what you thought you had to do. And, well, I don't want to say fortunately or unfortunately, but it worked out in the end for you, and you ended up with the checkered flag anyway. So things kind of went your way there at the end, but we also understand your standpoint of not really wanting it to go down like that, but sometimes, especially at these restrictor plate tracks, it just is what it is. It happens that way sometimes. And, man, I wouldn't hang your head any about the race win. I mean, it happens, and at the end of the day, you're the one right here in victory lane in the post-race interviews as the race winner. So I don't know how you'll take it, but I'd take it to the bank and cash it. You better believe that. Things happen, Doug, but nonetheless, we're going to look forward to next week. Coming from this race into next week, outside opportunity and chance. Do you think you can produce enough points next week to get yourself where you need to be to chase after a championship?
I think if the cards fall right, especially if I am able to keep the win and get the max points like that with the most laps and everything, I feel like I have a decent shot if some cards fall right, with other drivers being further back or whatever. I feel like I've gotten a lot better with saving tires. So, with a track like Darlington where your tires are gone like off a cliff, hopefully I can use that to my advantage. Um, the only thing is that makes me a long run car. And if I need to go short run, hopefully I'll still have the speed for that too.
Absolutely, and I mean Darlington, it's gonna give a lot of drivers some trouble, and almost like a plate race. It's a race of attrition. Obviously you got to be there at the end to walk away with a chance at it, but Darlington can be just as tough and just as tricky as some of the greatest short tracks in these super speedways as well. So Doug, again, hopefully things go your way next week and we can talk to you again in these post-race interviews. But if not, before we let you go and celebrate the night away with its checkered flag and first race win of the season, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the race shop?
First of all, thanks to my teammates for John for just kind of sitting back and be like he's good with points and kind of in a way electing me to be the one to try to push to the front. Bobby for being an amazing teammate the whole time. Amazing race by him managing his temperature and everything, staying under me when he needed to, get in the air when he could. Thank you to my fiance for letting me do this. And when it's a good race, hearing me when I'm happy. When it's a bad race, putting up with my complaining. Yeah, it's still kind of mixed where I'm happy and I'm kind of upset with how it ended, but just thank you to Bobby and John for kind of making an amazing game plan, and we stuck to it and it worked. So they're the two I could thank the most.
Absolutely. Well, Doug, again, congratulations on your first checkered flag of the season. We'll see if that translates into more to come. But until we meet again, my man, stay safe and keep it fast.
All right. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Final few parting words from the man that walked away with the checkered flag for the first time this season. Doug Argabright gonna make his way into victory lane for those post-race photo opportunities, and champagne going to be spilling here very soon at Talladega Super Speedway. The 41's going to top the charts and walk away with the checkered flag here tonight. What a run, what a race, what a night here from Talladega Super Speedway. What more can you expect out of plate racing? And then some great action and a little controversy at the end. Seems to always rear its ugly head at these plate races, but there you go. Already, producers hitting those buttons in the background. You know those familiar sounds. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results from Talladega Super Speedway in the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinitty Series. Checkered flag in hand on top of the scoring pylon for the first time this season inside of his 41 machine. Doug Argabright walks away with the race win. 62 of Nate DeFate gonna pilot his way into second, and rounding out your podium drivers here tonight inside of the PR Tacos Palace and Margarita Bar 404. Dave Gage finishes out your top three. Bailey Dutton gonna have to settle for fourth, with Bobby Blazer rounding out your top five. Nicholas Wing back in sixth. Seventh place tonight belongs to Joe Wormter with Brian Tarnowski. And the 28 machine, your pole sitter, gonna walk away eighth. Ninth place, the 91 of Patrick Coro with Aaron Alt finishing out your top 10. Last driver on the lead lap inside of his 77 Toyota Supra, you'll find John Timms in 11th. Brinson Hunt with a shot at the race win, but it all goes south off of turn 4. The 98 of Hunt will finish in 12th. Nick Burlow back in 13th. 14th tonight to Adam Ross. Stephen Ayers Jr. back in 15th. 16th from Talladega, Joshua Douglas with Michael Overstreet right behind him. Justin Gann gets popped on pit road in the 30. Will finish in 18th, 19th tonight to Larry Bowling. Scott Thomas back in 20th. Derek Moore, Scott Bell and Patrick Dishonor, Todd Cray and Daniel Jensen finish out the 25-car field here from Talladega Super Speedway. What a night, what a run. If you haven't already, you know you want to join us in that push to 3,000. Drop these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.